was kind of trial and error and diving right into things and not necessarily knowing or, wow, I made a mistake. That cost me a lot of time, or that cost me a lot of money. What did I do wrong? What should I have done? Even at the time when I was getting into it, anyone that I reached out to that was in the industry doing donuts, they didn't want to help me. So a lot of that was like,
Yeah, I told you we back. We got another entrepreneur in the house, another leading experts in his field. Um, Welcome to the show, Mr. Melvin. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Now, Melvin is the founder and the CEO of Doughboy Donuts. He's also a graduate of Goldman Sachs Small Business 10K. So the brother comes equipped with uh, creating the most creative donuts that you will ever have in your life. Hey man, welcome to the show. How you doing today, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, no problem, man. So how's the new year for you kicking off, man? How's everything going for the new year so far?
It's going all right. People have New Year's resolutions, things like that. So they tend to not eat sweets and donuts and stuff like that. Plus, the holidays probably ran them pockets a little bit, so they're trying to get a little money back and get more comfortable before they start spending a little money. So, but they'll be back. So,
Well, you know what, man. We hit the gym so we can go out and have a dessert or two. So yeah,
exactly.
they'll definitely be back, especially after the end of this conversation. If they're not back, then I didn't do something right because I know I've had first-hand experience with these donuts. And not
So,
only that, you have sandwiches. So we're gonna get out. We're gonna get into it. So Melvin, tell the people where you from, Melvin?
Grand Prairie, Texas, man, that's home.
GP, okay, that's right here outside of Dallas. So Grand Prairie. So the folks that who outside of the state of Texas, like Grand Prairie, yeah, it's a nice city over here. Where Melvin's born and raised. Okay, so Melvin, did you go to college or anything like that?
No, no, I was always wanted to go to Oklahoma. That's actually where I was born. I was born in Oklahoma City. I moved here when I turned
Okay,
3 in Texas. So I turned 3 in Texas. My dad was a big OU fan. His dad was a big OU fan. So that was always kind of the plan. But school wasn't really my thing. I wasn't really, wasn't the best student. So ended up just
yeah, yeah.
heading straight to the workforce out of high school, pretty much.
Yeah, no, I understand that, man, because when I first went off to school, I wasn't, prepared. I'll leave it like that. I'll say it like that, prepared. But OU, so was it Oklahoma or Oklahoma State? Because it's obviously a big difference. Which one?
In Oklahoma, man. Yeah,
Okay, okay,
yeah, the University of
okay,
Oklahoma.
okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
you're big Sooners fan.
Sooner born, sooner bred. When I die, I'll be sooner dead. That's how it goes.
That's all right there, man. That's all right. My wife and I, we actually went to the game, the Red River Shootout this past year,
Oh,
and the tickets we were sitting right in the middle of all the red,
yeah,
and man, I'm telling you, first half we were just celebrating, and then I'll dismiss the rest because we're Longhorn fans, so we'll keep it moving.
yeah. We'll keep it moving, man. We ain't got to reopen those wounds for you.
So I always yeah, I appreciate that, Melvin. I appreciate that. So I always like to ask people, like, you've been an entrepreneur for these last what 5 6 years owning Doughboy Donuts.
Yeah, going on 7 actually.
Oh wow, okay. Time flies, doesn't it, when you running your own business?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So did you choose donuts or did donuts choose you?
I think a little bit of both. It was one of those things where I had saw at that point in time there wasn't a gourmet donut place in Fort Worth where I currently live now. So I had saw someone say something about a place in St. Louis on Twitter that had donuts with like
Okay.
Oreos and like all these toppings, this crazy stuff. And me, like, I love food, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I was always looking for like what's that like that next like that big thing that's like a sweet, or dessert, you know what I mean? And so I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I never heard of something like that. I thought that was kind of weird, but I was intrigued. And I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? It sounds something that's right up my alley.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was looking for a place here locally and couldn't find one. There was one in Dallas that I found, and actually, my mom and I we went out there and we tried them out, and I was just like, I think I can do better. And that was me just being naive.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah, but yeah, that was kind of my first gourmet donut at that place out in Dallas, and it was good. You know what I mean? It just wasn't really what I had expected. And me growing up,
Yeah. Yeah.
I know us for us culturally, from scratch is where it's at. You know what I mean? And a lot of their products weren't
That's
made
right.
from scratch. You can definitely tell that some stuff was kind of artificial. And it's like, man, we can make this from scratch and really make this happen.
But let me ask you. So, how did you go from seeing the idea of the donuts, but not having that business background? So, how did you transfer from like, hey, this is the idea. I love the idea of the Oreos, the creativity of the donuts. But then, how did you have the mindset because you didn't go to school, you didn't go to college, like you say, you didn't have that that acumen to go to school, but here it is. You took your passion, something that you created, into a business. How did you switch gears with that?
It was a slow transition. A lot of that was trial and error and diving right into
Okay.
things and not necessarily knowing or wow, I made a mistake. That cost me a lot of time or that cost me a lot of money. What did I do wrong? What should I have done? Um, Even at the time when I was getting into it, anyone that I had reached out to that was in the industry doing donuts, they didn't want to help me. So a lot of that was like, figuring it out on my own type situation and just kind of relying on people who were close to me. Like,
Wait. You said when you got in the industry, you reached out to some people and they didn't want to help you.
yeah, a lot of no one wanted to help me. No one. They were like, I can't help you. They didn't respond. They had no information for me. They had no don't do this, do that. The when I know we'll get into it, but the woman I bought my food truck from, she was like a mentor because she was the only person that would really like divulge any sort of like constructive information that I was actually able to apply.
Yeah.
So and she helped me
Yeah.
meet with other people who were entrepreneurs as well, which helped out for sure.
Well, and the reason why I highlight that because I know this show is designed to help people who are thinking about getting into business or being in business. But then I heard you say something very important that when you first got in it, no one wants to share any information.
You know.
That means you had to, you were driving on the road that you were paving. So you had to kind of figure it out as you went along. And then how did you say you met this lady who you bought a food truck from? So why did you decide to do a food truck versus a brick and mortar?
So at the time, I was making donuts, which this is my recipe. I created it on my own. Well, I had help, but I brought the core together, and I was able to get some folks like my uncle, my aunt, my mom to come through and add a few little touches
Okay.
here, which made it to what it is now. But
Family dynamic.
yeah, for sure. But
You got the family. Yeah.
yeah, to answer your question, it was the food truck was more of a I was still working my full time job. I was managing a steakhouse, and so we had insurance,
Wow.
we had a steady paycheck, and it was one of those things where I couldn't consistently operate a food. I couldn't consistently operate a brick and mortar and still work my job because I wasn't quite ready to really jump into that. So the food truck gave me a little more flexibility to where I could work weekends. The opposite of my work schedule. But then it slowly turned into me taking off using vacation days and sick days to work truck events. And then I was like,
Okay.
yeah,
That's right.
I really gotta, jump right into it at that point.
How long did you have the food truck before? Because we got to transition, let people know that you do have a storefront now, right?
Mhm. Yep.
How long was it before you had the food truck? and then you switch gears to go ahead and open up the storefront.
Yeah, so we opened our storefront in Fort Worth. It's our first location, which is now closed because we're located in Burleson now, which is south of Fort Worth. Um, I had the food truck for about 2 years. Um, we did the food truck for 2 years, and it was more of a that was tough. It's figuring out how to operate successfully in the elements, the places to go where you actually make money. I think people have a preconceived notion of a food truck being in a gas station parking lot or on the side of the road next to a feed store or something like that. And they don't understand,
Mhm.
a lot of the time you're sitting there waiting on people to come to you. So we were like, all right, what can we do to get more revenue? Let's go to the people. So you start going to big events, but then you realize they want you to pay to come to this event, right? So you're already starting out in the red
Right.
when you're going to that. So
That's
you
right.
got labor, you got products, you have fuel, you have time, which is one people always leave out as time. But and then from there, you have to pay somebody to go to their event, and they're hyping it up like it's going to be the fair. You know what I mean? And it's rarely that.
Two people show up.
Yeah, yeah. Every um, event planner, their event is going to be the bomb. All of them. You know what I mean? And it's like you put all that time and effort into it. You go out somewhere on a Saturday, which is your busiest day, and then you sell 40 donuts, and you think, oh, you sold 40 of this. Well, donuts are have a lower price point. They're $3 a pop. You know what I mean? That's 120 bucks at minimum, or at best. You know what I mean? So for 3 or 4 hours of work, 3 or 4 hours of being posted up somewhere, but that doesn't count all the time you put into getting ready for the event and promoting it and marketing it on your end and prepping for it, and then getting up in the morning, prepping, getting there. That's almost a 2 hour process, maybe a 3 hour process, depending on how quote unquote big that event's going to be. So, I mean, you're
Wow.
already hours and hours into it before you even show up to the event and get to working. And then, now you're losing money. It's a thing where you kind of have to, you really have to navigate that really wisely, take a lot of notes. Um, that's where other people come in play where you want to get other people who have similar products as you. So like I've got a buddy who does beignets, so I'm like, hey, was this a good event because we have a similar price point. I can't go and ask the pizza guy. The pizza guy selling his pizzas 10, 14 bucks a pop. If he sells 100 pizzas, he's good. Or that's a good gig for him. But if I sell 100 donuts and leave with 300 bucks on a Saturday, it's like, oh, that's not, you know what I mean? For the time I put in, it's not worth it.
That's right. Yeah. Now I like how you leverage your friend's experience. So like, hey, if you're going to be out there, is this a good event? Should I show up? Because like you said, you got time before the event, time preparing, and then the travel, the fuel, the overhead.
Yeah.
What made you go ahead and open up the storefront, seeing that you had success with the food truck?
Yeah, like you said, we had the success, and we were not just traveling. So we were based in Fort Worth. I thought it was key for us to kind of center around Fort Worth, but to be honest, Fort Worth wasn't paying the bills at the time. We were still young. We were still like, hey, we had just started. The word wasn't really out there yet. I wasn't very good at social media. I'm still not good at it. The social media aspect of marketing it and the contacting and the sales aspect of it, which was definitely a struggle in the very beginning because, um, but eventually we got to the point where the word was spreading that hey, there's this donut food truck, and we did things differently. Where it was made from
Yeah,
scratch. Excuse me, it was made from scratch. It was all dressed to order. So when people were eating these donuts, they were getting a hot donut that was just dressed and had warm glaze and all that good stuff, right? So the word was spreading, word of mouth, and then it got to the point to where I'm in Dallas doing something, or I'm at a food truck event, or I'm at a corporate event, or whatever the case may be, and have people calling me from Fort Worth like, "Hey, where are you at? We're trying to find you today." And I'm like, check my social media, and you know, I'm doing this and I'm trying to figure out how to come up with new ideas and new products while also still developing my product because it wasn't really complete yet, honestly. And like I
that's
said
right.
earlier, dealing with the elements. So that first summer was a mother. You know what I'm saying? Because you're out there, it's hot. You got all your equipment on. You're out there sweating, and then
Woo!
you're trying to make donuts, which donuts have yeast in it. That heat activates that yeast. You know what I mean? It's figuring out how to put out a good and consistent product despite it being 10 degrees outside or despite it being 110 outside.
Man, that's awesome, man. And but what I hear through that is the trials and tribulations of someone who's passionate about getting out the right product, the right service, and not giving up. Because it sounds like if we trail back the story of what you just said is, hey, I didn't go to school for this. I didn't have anybody coaching me, mentoring me outside of the lady with the food truck when she finally started giving you information. But it sounded like you was a self starter. I mean, you were self educated,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Pretty much. Okay.
I had my folks behind me, which was good to have my mom and dad behind me. You know what I mean? And my wife also having that support at home because otherwise I would
Absolutely.
have given up. You know what I mean? You go out, you work all day on a Saturday, and you don't bring home any money, and you realize, what you missed out on. Hey, I took a day off of work to go and do this, and I would have made more by going to work, or I missed a day with my
Yep.
kids, or I missed a day with my wife. I could have been doing anything else. I could have been watching, football. You know what I mean? Which would have been more rewarding at that point. So, it's kind of navigating that, man. It's definitely tough.
Sacrifice, man. That's why I try to tell people if you think you can go into business and you're gonna make money on day one, it doesn't work like that. You're gonna
Mhm.
have to let some things go. You're gonna get off that couch. You gotta stop watching a little TV, these shows. You gotta have to connect in what you're really trying to get off the ground. And it takes work. So how are you managing the food truck? Now you have more overhead with a building, right? So you have employees, COVID going on. How are you managing all this from the food truck to the storefront?
Right now, it's just like you touched on the employee thing. It's just I don't really have. I've got the people. I just don't have enough of them. I'll say that. The crew that I have now, they're amazing. They work hard. They. It seems like they want to be there, which is amazing. And it's just I need a few more bodies so that I'm not sacrificing um, the experience at the store to make more money on the food truck. I think the money is going to come, but at the same time, is I don't want to.
That's right.
I don't want to. Yeah, I can't sacrifice my shop operating at a deficit just to go out and make money on the truck. So, but in a perfect world, I'd have 2-3 bodies to work the food truck, and a lot of people are hitting me up for church events right now, school events. I just had someone contact me about a prom. We're doing a quinceanera here in a little bit
Oh,
too.
cool.
A lot of those fun events, man. Wedding season's about to come, so I have a lot of couples hitting me up for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So it's just figuring that out. Plus, donuts are a morning thing, but the food truck has always been marketed as an all day thing. So we got people that want us for come out here and serve us a snack, or we just want something sweet after we have our dinner. Come to our house for this party, or come to the wedding and come after we serve all the. We're not going to do a cake. We're going to have donuts instead. So the time difference is kind of
Oh,
a
nice.
struggle too. That time difference is a struggle too because
Cool, man.
you have your morning crew, then you have your night crew, and all that. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, we got to make sure we get the word out that you're hiring, man, because with everything going on, and I know you're passionate about what you do, and you're a great businessman. We got to make sure that we spread the word that you're hiring and get some good people in your shop so you can continue to serve at a high level.
yes, sir, man. Yes, sir.
Now, hey, we got to run down just two more questions. So, give us a few of your favorite menu items that you're selling right now.
Okay. Right now, the savory part is the Doughboy sandwich. So it's a donut that is we toast it, and then it's got melted cheese on there. So that's
Mm.
melted pepper jack, American, and cheddar cheese. It's got bacon and sausage in there, and it's a sandwich. So it's like the ultimate breakfast sandwich. You can add an egg to it. You can do it. We call it folded, which is like scrambled, or you can do it over, or fried, which is like over hard. That's like that's the home run right there. So my dad always tries to upsell people on the maple syrup. So you can add a little bit of maple syrup to sprinkle on that donut or on that sandwich. It's incredible to have that sweet and that savory with all that stuff. As far as
Mm.
donuts, I would probably go with the sriracha maple bacon, which is my favorite. It is sriracha candied bacon on top of a maple glaze donut. So you have a sweet and heat aspect, a lot of different profiles there. Um, the blood orange is a favorite in January. We have blood oranges. So we squeeze it in house, we juice it, um, zest it also, and that all goes into the glaze. So all of our glazes, if it's a fruit or whatever, we don't use anything artificial. We don't use any purees. It's all from the source. So we don't have any of that those byproducts or any of that fake stuff. Um, don't offer sprinkles, stuff
There we
like that.
go.
But yeah, I'd say those are the top two right now. I'd say.
Yeah, that maple bacon, I can speak. I'm a true testament of that. That was off the chain, my brother. That was delicious. You hear me?
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, so before we get out of here, what advice would you give your 15-year-old self today, Melvin?
Go to school. I think I think I think the road would have been. You know what? I don't know, man. I don't think so. I say go to school just because I think the road would be a little bit easier, but I think I'm a better man for going through all the things that I
Yep.
went through right now. You know what I mean? So despite all the struggles and sacrifices
Yeah.
and everything else, it's like it made me where I am now, and I feel I don't know. There's a sense of worth knowing that I did it a different way. And I'm not saying that school's not hard, but you know, it's tough to navigate the way we navigate it. There's so many ups and downs, trials and tribulations that we've had with starting the business through all the aspects, and it's definitely made me who I am today, which is a good man. So um, yeah, I mean, I think in theory I'd say go to school just so I can have that experience and actually going to
Hey,
school. You know what I
that's
mean?
right.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trade it for
I
anything.
sit here today Man, I sit here today is I can call you and leverage that experience from one business owner to the next. So I understand exactly where you're coming from. It's the almost the traditional thing that hey, go back to school. But I can sit here in front of you, knowing that what you've been through, knowing what you've gone through. It's made you stronger. It's made you who you are today, man. And make no bones about it. That's why we're sitting to have this conversation, man. Because I applaud you, man, and I'm inspired by you because I know your background and your story, man, and it's one that I look up to.
I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
man. Hey, so yeah, let the people know where can we follow you on social media because we got to make sure that we're gonna get you some help with your social media, but we got to make sure that we can follow you too, get your followers up, get them engaged.
Yes.
So where can they follow Doughboy Donuts?
Yeah, Doughboy Donuts, Facebook and Instagram. On Instagram, it is at Doughboy Donuts, Donuts. Facebook and Instagram, that's where we are. We got a pretty interactive website as well, which can let you order online. You can do delivery or pick up however you want. Um, we have photos on there too. Photos and descriptions of all of our products are on there as well. So, only thing I don't have is coffee pictures on there, but we have a full espresso bar. But all the
Yeah.
heavy stuff, the donuts, the sandwiches, all that stuff is on there. You can order straight from there, or you can reach out to me directly through the website. And if you have any questions or comments or concerns,
Family, listen, follow his social media pages. Check him out. You will not be disappointed. If you have any questions for him, like we always do, put them in the comment section. If I have some questions, I'll roll them back up to Melvin. I get in touch with him. He's also hiring. So if you're looking for a job opportunity, don't come half stepping. You can see he's passionate about what he's doing. He serves at high level. He has the food truck. He has the storefront. So you come in there, you're gonna learn about the building of the process of the donuts, and you guys are gonna serve it at a high level. Melvin, thank you so much, man, for coming on the show. I definitely appreciate you, my brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks, Jarvis.